Yes. Hi, everyone. And it has been super exciting to hear all the talks. So I'm very excited because it feels like lots of things are emerging. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity. I'm Simal, and I will be presenting our work. We are Umbrella 7 and connecting the dots. Next, please. So we are here today because there's a sizable disconnect between what is deeply needed in the field versus what is being researched, developed, and funded to commercialize through academic initiatives. Now, this is not just about money or time, because considering that the academic initiatives are mostly around public impact areas, this also means that extra needless human suffering. So we really need this to work. Next. And when we look at solutions and how they can survive in the market, there are a variety of features they have to have, and some of them can be iterated later. But no matter what you do, you cannot make people use something they can't or they have no desire to use. So really, the user-centeredness is the key of everything. Next. And we think the user-centeredness is the missing link between academic research efforts leading into social and public impact. And at the end of, Microlab 2, our group had, some ideas in terms of how we can facilitate this user-centeredness. And we were very eager to get to work. But we stopped because we did not want to make the same critical mistake. We decided that we want to go to our users, our potential users first, to really understand what they want and what they need to make user-centeredness more of their regular professional works. Next. So we narrowed down 3 main disciplines to leverage the backgrounds and expertise in our field, in our team. And we run user interviews, 30 minutes and longer, to really understand what different types of professionals in these different fields really need and want in terms of user-centered research. Next. We have completed 7 interviews, and today I'm going to give you just 3 examples. So this is the first one, meet C. C is a former academic educator and researcher turned into an entrepreneur. He has a very nice, successful, booming business. On the side, he's very committed to create public impact by forming these pathways to take community college students from being the best pizza delivery guys in their region and to put them onto PhD candidacy. And during this work, even for this particular initiative, he had a hard time to find academic partners. Now, C really knows the value of user-centered research, and he's relatively privileged in the sense that he can put time in it and push forward it because he's the boss. But still, he's blocked. He needs more openness and willingness from the academic partners, and also he needs more accountability for this to be a sustainable process for him. Next. This is S. S is doing her PhD studies in forest health. She's an international student, and she's not just interested in publishing papers. That was, way in the back. She really wants her research to be utilized by the decision makers today so that she can see the impact that she's creating. And she was actually transitioned from industry to academia. So she already knew how important this is. And for her dissertation research, she found a way to integrate a government decision maker into her dissertation committee. So she's all set now, but she's worried because she doesn't know how she can have the same level of commitment for the next phases of her research. So she's also stuck. Next. Now, this is a very different example. So now we have H. H is a child developmental specialist, and she screens moms for perinatal mental health disorders. And it's very important for her because she lives in a rural part of the America, which is a perinatal mental health desert. So she really needs to, identify them early on. And she's also different in the sense that she's not a researcher. She's a professional who is really embedded in her users. So she really knows what her users, these moms, need and want. She has been recently involved in a research study, and she had seen that it can make a huge difference in terms of how she performs and how she can serve her community. And she wants more of it, but she doesn't know how to. no one really connecting her. She has this immense amount of data and she sees patterns in her data, but she has no way of getting into actionable steps. And also looking at all the solutions developed, she's really feeling like maybe you guys don't really care about what's happening in rural America or the families of rural America. So she's, pretty frustrated and stuck as well. Next. So these are, very unique cases, and this work is still ongoing. But the emerging, themes are kind of obvious in the sense that researchers who really know the value of the user-centered research, they want to be connected to their target users in a meaningful manner. And on the other hand, professionals who are very close to the end users and they know the importance of research, they want their voices to be heard and they want to have those connections as well. What they need is, next, in a tentative, explanation, is a really open platform, virtual platform, where there are no barriers, where people who think their, opinions don't count can intake their opinions, or people who don't know where to start can intake their opinions and they can see that they are amplified. They can connect with the resources and connect with the ecosystem partners, and they can form supportive, equitable partnerships to at least to get the conversation going. So in that sense, our goal is to finalize our interviews, and based on that, we want to finalize our solution. But as is, we are thinking about having a virtual platform where H, sees the trends in her data. Hey, I realize that these moms have increased suicidal ideation, and they are in the agricultural, families, and they are using these particular tools. So she can write this intake. We can provide her resources of the, based on the keywords that she provided, the resources of the research availabilities to connect her, and as well as funding agencies and open calls. And we can also ask her, hey, if you run a working group on this, would you be interested in joining? At the same time, on the background, we can do need assessments in a more scalable manner through utilizing technology and existing resources to really identify what are the burning needs that are coming through either user intakes or either funding agency calls or either, let's say, social media trends. And we can form these working groups, and then we can go back and tell H, S, and C, hey, would you like to connect for the next 3 months around this topic where we will provide you resources and guidance, and you can start communicating. And after this 3 months, it's up to you whether you want to form a collaboration which is equitable and accountable or not. And if that's the case, we are happy to support you further and channel you to the appropriate resources. Next. So again, we are, at the trenches of doing our interviews right now, but our goal is, not to replicate what is already existing. Our goal is really to tap into the existing resources and technologies, and also to make our system scalable. So we are open to looking into any type of, tools, resources, and also definitely collaborations across, any type of agencies and working groups here. Next. So we are doing our user interviews. Our goal is, after these interviews, to refine and choose on one discipline, one target user. Based on that, we will think about what are the main features that we have to have, and who might be the potential payers, funders of this platform, what might be the most suitable operational model, and we will create a prototype. And after that, we'll see where it will go. And during this whole process, we also, want to share what we have already learned and also keep learning together. So we want to have conferences and workshops organized as well, and publications. Next. So if you are interested in, join our team, provide us feedback. If you can write a check, that's perfect. And if not, also, please scan the code. If you're in mental health sciences, biomedical engineering, or, climate smart technologies, we definitely want to hear from you. And we will be in touch if you send us an intake.
All right. Thank you, Simal.
You're welcome.
One quick question. We got to keep your answer to 30 seconds if you can. What are the challenges you have experienced in accessing end users beyond your sphere?
Oh my God, yes. Actually, can you proceed to maybe the next slide? I just want to give a teaser on this. Let's see, if you go to the next slide, which is skippable, but can maybe make it unskippable. Okay. Can you proceed? Oh, no, mine.
Go ahead and just speak to it, Simal.
Okay, all right. So it was a challenge because we wanted to also talk to the end users who are not in our echo chambers, because that's a very, very important topic. And when we initially put our, survey call, we realized that at some point we started to have this 150, intakes. We're like, what's going on? And it appeared that, a bot probably, published it somewhere. And we had some interesting and conversations reaching out to these people who are either scamming to have, personal experiences or professional experiences. So at this point, we put a halt onto it, and we just focus on professionals with some personal experiences that we can at least, corroborate on their IDs. But that's a very big challenge, and that was an interesting learning.